A cenotaph is an empty tomb, or a monument erected in honor of a person or group of people whose remains are elsewhere. It can also be the initial tomb for a person who has since been reinterred elsewhere. The word derives from the Greek, II micron I1/2 II to the first I1/2 equals kenotaphion. Although the vast majority of cenotaphs are erected in honor of individuals, many noted cenotaphs are instead dedicated to the memories of groups of individuals, such as the lost soldiers of one country or empire. History: cenotaphs were common in the ancient world, with many built in ancient Egypt, ancient Greece and across northern Europe. Sir Edwin Lutyens' cenotaph in London influenced the design of many other war memorials in Britain and the British sectors of the Western Front, as well as those in other Commonwealth nations. The Church of Santa Ingresia, in Lisbon, Portugal, turned into a national pantheon since 1966, holds 6 cenotaphs, namely Tulua Estacama Micrones, Pedro Alvares Cabral, Afonso de Albuquerque, Nuno Alvares Pereira, Vasco da Gama and Henry the Navigator. The Basilica di Santa Croce in Florence, Italy, contains a number of cenotaphs, including one for Dante Alighieri, who is buried in Ravenna. Regional: Asia. Among Asian countries, the cenotaph in central of Hong Kong Island, Hong Kong, the cenotaph in Kuala Lumpur, the cenotaph in Singapore and the cenotaph in Colombo were erected as memorials to the war dead of World War I. The concrete memorial cenotaph at the Hiroshima Peace Memorial Park was designed by Kenzo Tange to commemorate the 200,000 victims of the August 1945 atomic bomb attack. A cenotaph was erected inside the Manila North Cemetery in the Philippines in honor of the 24 scouts who died in a plane crash en route to the 11th World Scout Jamboree. Australia. In Australia, Anzac Day commemorations are usually held at all of the nation's many war memorials, but not all of them are cenotaphs. The Sydney Cenotaph is in Martin Place and the Hobart Cenotaph is in the Queen's Domain. An Anzac Day commemoration is held in the regional city of Bendigo at the Cenotaph, which is located in Charing Cross. Bermuda, a limestone replica of the Cenotaph at Whitehall in London, was erected outside the Cabinet Building in Hamilton, Bermuda in 1920. Canada. In Canada, major cenotaphs commemorating the nation's war dead in World War I and later conflicts include the National War Memorial in Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto, Hamilton, Victoria, St. John's, Halifax, and the Victory Square Cenotaph, in Vancouver, British Columbia. South Africa. A cenotaph is the focal point of the Voetrekker Monument in Pretoria, South Africa. It is situated below the other main point of interest, a marble historical frieze in the Hall of Heroes, and is visible through a round opening in the floor. The Hall of Heroes itself has a dome from the summit of which one can view the interior of the monument. At noon on December 16 each year the sun shines through another opening in the dome onto the middle of the cenotaph, where the words Ons Viju, Swid Africa are inscribed. The ray of sunshine symbolizes God's blessing on the lives and endeavors of the Voetrekkers. December 16 is the date in 1838 that the Battle of Blood River was fought. Durban, South Africa, has a striking and unusual cenotaph made of granite and lavishly decorated with brightly colored ceramics. United Kingdom, London. A cenotaph in the UK that stands in Whitehall, London, was designed by Sir Edwin Lutyens and replaced Lutyens' identical wood and plaster cenotaph erected in 1919 for the Allied Victory Parade, and is a Grade I listed building. It is undecorated save for a carved wreath on each end and the words "The Glorious Dead," chosen by Lloyd George. It was intended to commemorate specifically the victims of the First World War, but is used to commemorate all of the dead in all wars in which British servicemen and women have fought. The dates of the First World War and the Second World War are inscribed on it in Roman numerals. The design was used in the construction of many other war memorials throughout the British Empire. There is another cenotaph that stands on Victoria Square in Aberdeen, also designed by Sir Edwin Lutyens. Belfast. The cenotaph in Belfast, Northern Ireland, is located in the grounds of Belfast City Hall and is set within a garden of remembrance. It is about 9.5 meters high and presents several carvings including laurel wreaths, symbolizing victory and honor. The cenotaph is the site of the annual Northern Ireland Memorial held on Remembrance Sunday, the closest Sunday to November 11. United States. In the United States, a cenotaph in Yale University's Hewitt Court honors men of Yale who died in battle. The John Fitzgerald Kennedy Memorial in Dallas is often described as a cenotaph. The Battle Monument in Battle Monument Square in Baltimore, Maryland, commemorates the Battle of Baltimore, with the Battle of North Point on September 12, 1814, and the following bombardment of Fort McHenry on 13 to 14 September, writing the poem The Defense of Ft. McHenry, which later set to music a few days later as the Star-Spangled Banner, eventually in 1931 became the national anthem, and the fortifications and standoff on Loudenschlager's Hill, and honors those who died during that month of September 1814, during the War of 1812. It has an Egyptian Revival cenotaph base, surmounted by a faces bound together with ribbons bearing the names of the dead, designed by French copyright migrant copyright architect J. Maximilien M. Godefroy in 1815, which was constructed to 1827. It is considered the first and oldest war memorial in America, especially to remember the individual soldiers fallen. The monument appears on the seal and the logo of the city of Baltimore and serves as a symbol for any agencies of the municipal government. A cenotaph for the defenders of the Battle of the Alamo of March 1836, stands in front of the Alamo Mission Chapel in San Antonio, Texas. The cenotaph was placed because the bodies of the Texans were burned following the battle. At Virginia Polytechnic Institute, situated atop War Memorial Chapel, there is a cenotaph honoring all Virginia Tech cadets who have been killed in battle. Inscribed upon the cenotaph are the names of the 7 Virginia Tech alumni who have been awarded the Medal of Honor. Zambia. In Livingston there is a cenotaph at the eastern cataract of the Victoria Falls with the names of the men of northern Rhodesia who died during the Great War 1914-18. It was unveiled by H.R.H. Prince Arthur of Connaught on August 1, 1923. Cenotaphs for the missing. Although most notable cenotaphs commemorate notable individuals buried elsewhere, many cenotaphs pay tribute to people whose remains have never been located. 2 such cenotaphs are dedicated to victims of the RMS Titanic, whose bodies were not recovered after the sinking. The cenotaph of Ida Strauss serves as the gravestone for her husband Ida Strauss at Woodlawn Cemetery in the Bronx, and the striking cenotaph of Major Archibald Butt, aide to U.S. President William Taft, is located at Arlington National Cemetery. Chhatris. In India, cenotaphs are a basic element of Hindu architecture, later used by Mughals as seen in most of the mausoleums of Mughal emperors which have 2 burial chambers, the upper one with a cenotaph, as in Humayun's tomb, Delhi, or the Taj Mahal, Agra, while the real tomb often lies exactly below it, or further removed. The Kshatri, trace their origin at 2,000 years ago at Fort Kangra. The term Khatri, used for these canopy-like structures, comes from Hindustani word literally meaning umbrella, and are found throughout the northwestern region of Rajasthan as well as in Madhya Pradesh and Maharashtra. In the Shekhawati region of Rajasthan, chhatris are built on the cremation sites of wealthy or distinguished individuals. Chhatris in Shekhawati may consist of a simple structure of one dome raised by 4 pillars to a building containing many domes and a basement with several rooms. In some places, the interior of the Khatri is painted in the same manner as the Haveli. Art. Cenotaphs have also been the subject of a number of illustrations including, the cenotaph to Reynolds' memory, Elevation for Newton's cenotaph, Perspective, the cenotaph of Jean-Jacques Rousseau, Digital. In the Internet age, virtual cenotaphs are common in the game World of Warcraft. They have also been created in the augmented reality game Ingress in honor of the slain MIT police officer Sean Collier and in memory of the victims of the 1942 Struma disaster. Gallery. See also, Grave, Shrine of Remembrance in Melbourne, Victoria, Australia, Tomb of the Unknown Soldier, War Memorial, References. Further reading, The Secret of the Cenotaph by Andrew Crompton, 1999, Stilling the Pulse of Time by Bruce Cole, Wall Street Journal, November 8, 2013, External links, media related to cenotaphs at Wikimedia Commons, The New London School Explosion Cenotaph Memorial, Cenotaph of Sigismunda and Lucian's Whitehall cenotaph.